What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and in today's video we're covering the PokeRadar, which is the best shiny method in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and we're gonna dive right into this because I'm incredibly excited. I just had a live stream using the PokeRadar and I thought this method was awesome. I think it's pretty easy to do, and the rates are so worth it that it is worth learning how to do this. And of course, guys, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video, I really appreciate it. So the PokeRadar is accessible once you have defeated the champion and you are now the champion of the Sinnoh region, and you have completed your Sinnoh Dex. So once you have completed your Sinnoh Dex, you're going to go back to Professor Rowan. You'll be like, hey, I've completed my Dex, and he's going to hand you the PokeRadar. And the PokeRadar is a key item, which I highly suggest hotkeying onto your plus button, as you're going to be using this a lot. A tool that can search out Pokemon that are hiding in the tall grass. Its batteries recharge as you walk. And once you have that, you can actually start using the PokeRadar. But I do recommend going to Ramses Park, where Professor Oak is located. You actually have a little cutscene with Professor Oak once you get the PokeRadar, and he tells you about Ramses Park, and it's at the end of Route 221, which can be arrived at from Sand Gem Town. So you just got to surf down here, head through the grass. You can honestly put on a rappel to make this a lot easier. So once you head into this building, Professor Oak will hand you the PokeRadar app, which is what I have currently on the screen right here. And this app will now show you, one, how many Pokemon are in your chain for your PokeRadar, and it'll also show you your 3 best chains for the Pokemon that you're currently hunting. I'm not sure, I guess you can reset this by hitting the button here, but I don't want to do it for the sake of the video. But this is the last thing that I've been chaining, was a Larvitar, and trying to get a shiny Larvitar isn't as bad as you think it is. So let's get into why would you want to do this method. The main reason why this is the best way to do it is, one, the shiny charm does not work in this game, so it only works on a Masuda method. So if you're trying to catch Pokemon, there is no other way to increase the rate. So you have to use the PokeRadar, because whenever you get one Pokemon caught in your chain, that increases your rate of a shiny. And of course it starts at 0, which is 1 out of 4,096. But if you have a chain of 40, it's a 1 out of 99 chance of getting a shiny. And you have 4 shots at that shiny occurring, and there is a visual cue if there is a shiny on the world map. So there's a lot of good reasons to use this over any other shiny method right now. Before we dive into how to actually do the PokeRadar method, let's start with the preparation. One, we want a Pokemon that has False Swipe, like Gallade. Gallade's actually the best False Swipe user in the game, because not only can he learn False Swipe, he can also learn Thunder Wave and Hypnosis. I currently don't have those moves on my guy, but you know, you can get those pretty easily. And he also has the ability Synchronize, which means whatever ability he has, the other Pokemon that you catch will have the same ability. So if you are farming for, let's say, an Adamant Larvitar, you can just make your Gallade Adamant, and then all the Larvitars you catch will be Adamant. So that'll just save you some time later when you're trying to change nature for the perfect Pokemon. And False Swipe is a great move because it will leave the opponent's Pokemon with 1 HP left, so you can just very easily catch a Pokemon with like a Pokeball. So once we have our Pokemon, you also want to have about 30 max repels, and you also want to have a lot of Pokeballs. Depending on what you're trying to catch, you may need Ultra Balls. I recommend using Dust Balls at nighttime, but Pokeballs can also work on lesser, weaker Pokemon like a Hoppip or something like a, you know, like a Grimer. Maybe you could use Pokeballs on, but I would not recommend using Pokeballs on like a Larvitar, because that wouldn't always work because it has a high catch rate. So Larvitar Bagon going to be really difficult to go into. And one last thing, there is a lot of exclusive Pokemon you can catch doing the PokeRadar method. Notable Pokemon is Larvitar, Bagon, Mareep, Grimer, the Nidorans, Venonat, Miltank, Ditto, Aeron, Torkoal, Kecleon. Just so many awesome unique Pokemon, including Stantler and Smeargle. So this is a great way if you want those Pokemon shiny. Yes, you can do those. You can use this method to get those Pokemon shiny. But also, if you want to complete your national decks, you're going to need to catch these Pokemon. And sometimes it is easier just going to the routes and then try to farm the Grand Underground for these particular Pokemon. And let's dive into how to actually use the PokeRadar. So first things first, I recommend using a max repel, because if you interact with another Pokemon that isn't on your chain, then you will lose your chain immediately. So always use a max repel. Now go to the route you want to go, chain a Pokemon in, and then head to the grass. And now you're going to pop your PokeRadar. And now we're going to see 4 patches of grass start messing around. They're going to be like popping off. And these 4 patches of grass will have a Pokemon. And we want to chain these Pokemon. So figure out which Pokemon you want to get. So I'm going for Nidoran. So I'm going to try to go for a Nidoran chain here, right? The thing is, you need to go for the patch of grass that is at least 4 spaces away from you and the farthest away from you. The further the space is, the higher chance that your chain is continuing. The farthest space will have a 93% chance of continuing your chain. The lowest one will have a 63% chance of continuing your chain. You always want to capture the Pokemon too, because those odds will drop by 10%. It'll go from a 93 to an 83 for the best possible patch, and for the worst possible patch, it'll go from a 63 to a 53. So always be counting which one is the farthest away. If you're not sure, if you can't make it out of your eyes, count the spaces between you. And it is the space between you in the patch of grass, all the tiles in between, in the shortest amount to get there. So it's not going to be some crazy path. It's going to be the shortest possible path to that tile that has the grass popping off on. So let's try to do this method here. So the one in the top right looks to be the farthest away. So we're going to go in here and hopefully we get the Pokemon we want. Fortunately, we got a Starly. If you were chaining Starlies, this would be perfect for you. You would just catch this Pokemon and move on. But let's say you don't want to start this chain. Well, we're just going to run away. And the chain should break. And the chain did break. And we're going to pop another repel. And to start up the PokeRadar again, I believe you need to walk about 50 steps again. We're going to walk about 50 steps. And do it again in the grass. And we got one in the top left corner, looks pretty far away from us. So let's hope this is the Nidoran we were looking for. So we got female Nidoran, and we'll go with female Nidoran because Nidoqueen's pretty cool too. I do prefer Nidoking, but for the sake of the video, we're going to go with Nidoran female. So because it is a level 3 Pokemon, you can actually just sort of throw a Pokeball at it and catch it immediately and not really worry about it. If it is a higher level Pokemon or like a Larvitar or Bagon, you really need to use Gallade here to use Full Swipe to get them down to 1 HP. And you may need to use Thunder Wave or Hypnosis to paralyze them or sleep them so the catch rate is easier. But there we go. That's one Pokemon. And now we have a chain. So in the top right corner of the screen, you can see Nidoran has a 1 next to it, which means our chain is at 1, which means our odds right now is going to be pretty low, but they're going to get better. It's 1 out of 3,855. So that's already a little bit better than the base shiny chance. So now you can see the grass has moved. So we're going to now go to the furthest one again. And you're just going to keep on continuing this until you either your chain accidentally breaks and then you restart the whole method all over again, or you get your shiny. And it is pretty fast overall, this method. The thing you just got to worry about the most is counting your steps and making sure you go to the one that is farthest away, because I've definitely gone to the wrong one. I've definitely done miss inputs as well on my end and have ruined chains. But the closer you are to the grass, just stay away from it, dodge it, and you want to stay in the area, because if you leave the area, your chain will go away and you will have to redo the entire process all over again. And before we end the video here, I want to say I got my Nidoran chain to 40, so it is very much possible to get your chain to 40. Unfortunately, the chain broke right when it hit 40, and I'm completely devastated right now. I really wanted to showcase a shiny on this. However, I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, I wish you guys great luck on this. I do want to mention that you can get Pokemon with perfect IVs when you hit 20 and 30 in the chain. 20 will guarantee 1 perfect IV. At 30, you'll get 2 perfect IVs, and you can also get hidden abilities, but with a 1 out of 128 chance to get a hidden ability. So guys, I wish you the best of luck. Let me know what shiny you're going to be hunting, and let me know if you caught a shiny. I really want to know. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.